remember. What else did we put on our shopping list? Oh, what a mouth-watering smell. We can still add it to the...
Well, if it isn't the Traveler and Paimon.
Hello there.
Huh, so you two are still hanging out together. Dia, didn't you say last time that you were gonna head back to the desert?
I said I was going to resign from being her bodyguard. Not that our friend, the Homayanis, also still post jobs from time to time.
I told Dia to just stay at our place when she... My parents were delighted. They even said...
That sounds like something they would say, all right. Anyway, the job is already taken care of, so
You can stay for as many days as you want, Dia.
You know I'm not the kind...
What? She said they'll treat you to the best dishes!
But wait. Didn't you say last... There are so many places I still haven't...
I'm sorry, my lady, but no can do. There's still a...
Oh, come on.
I know, I'm sorry.
All right, fine. To be perfectly honest, ever since you first set foot on the estate of... Have you been delaying our trip because you've run into some kind of...
Nah, are you kidding? You're worried.
Would you swear on that? Friends shouldn't lie to each other, but if something really is bothering you...
Oh, looks like Junior's was onto something.
You're too perceptive, I just thought that nothing good could come out of telling you about the messy happenings of mercenary. Mercenary life is a dog-eat-dog world where more...
That doesn't change anything about what I just said, though. We're still...
My lady... All right, Okay, let's talk here. Just try not to draw any extra attention. As you may already know, my brigade is called the Blazing. However, not all
Deshret's relics? Judging from the name, they must really look up to...
Yep, you got it. I've heard that you've already crossed...
Oh, you mean the group that tried to sell us the Divine Knowledge Capsule?
Deshret's relics is composed of many smaller brigades, like Ain al-Ahmar. On any other day...
Dakan?
I think it means beard or something. Anyway, the real issue is that...
Say what now?
I think I'm starting to understand your anxiety.
I won't go into details, my lady, but they've been in...
Hundreds?
Yep. The scenes tend to be quite gruesome, too. They strip the victim. Not only have they targeted merchant caravans and...
That's beyond terrible.
I don't know how Deshret's relic... If I don't do something about... I just wish I knew with...
Yeah. How can...
I don't know. People
That's setting the bar pretty...
I mean, if he was even remotely decent, then he was loud and foolish, with no real sense of... Of course, the other brigade members were just like him.
Sounds like a...
What about your mother?
Unfortunately...
Oh,
It's all right, my lady. He told me that he wasn't He'd say, you'll be fine as long as you remember. But the problem was that he had terrible taste. They were tales of desert warrior.
Sounds like your tip...
More or less, yeah. He seemed to think those stories, even the toys he gave me, would all be story prop. It was only much later when I realized.
What an interesting guy.
Yeah, I've always found him pretty childish. Until I grew up and learned the true face of Deshret's relics for my looting, blackmail, no one in the brigade. Did they really think that
I think I can understand your feelings. The difference between perception and reality.
Yeah, but don't worry, my lady. It's all water under the bridge to me now. I had a huge argument with my father and left that place behind for good. I'm not investigating them due to any bitter... Yeah, I told...
I see. But isn't this investigation incredible?
It is, but every mercenary lives life on the edge. It's a lifestyle that I enjoy.
That may be true.
Well, now you get why...
What should we do? They both...
Huh? But there's no need...
Well, she's super tough, so if she went into the desert with you...
I'm inclined to agree. I'd feel a lot more at ease if you took her along. I'll wait for news from you in the city until then.
I'm... All right, then let's get moving. Our first stop...
Hey, Dia, you're back. Are these two friends of yours? Likewise. There's no need to be so formal with us. Anyway, since we've got a newcomer, let me fill you in. They've become extremely aggressive. They even attack other relics brigades.
Even the most ferocious beasts still protect their own.
That's right. Once they've collected a portion of their profits is immediately...
That's terrible!
Yeah, and it really makes you wonder why they're so desperate. A few days ago, a shaman I trailed them. Rather than saying they're...
Wait, a power...
You heard me right. The vast majority of their victims are mercenaries from the other... If their only goal was Mora, they could have gone after anybody. Unfortunately, we weren't able to find out anything. Oh, one last thing we discovered was that over the past few years, as the Khan al-Ahmar became...
It sounds mighty strange to me too. Harun, you can leave the rest of the investigation to us. Gotta say though, I didn't expect you to go on a whole undercover mission during the few days I was gone.
Nah, it was nothing. We're just as concerned about the situation as you are. The Khan al-Ahmar is your father's crew after all.
What he said. Besides, Dia, haven't you done more
Yeah. And while they went to talk with Khan al-Ahmar, I took a look at the last camp they attacked. Any survivors of the attack were already long gone.
Ah, he's shaman.
We rushed over as soon as we saw you come into Caravan Ribat. Although this new friend of yours looks a little green behind the ears, I'm sensing a special vibe. Now that we know you'll have a capable partner with you.
Hey, what about Paimon?
Oh, you're also planning to tag along?
Of course! Paimon is the traveler's most important guide!
Oh, in that case...
Don't worry about her. She may look tiny and helpless. Even if she had only survived on sheer luck, then that alone would still make...
I had no idea. I guess I shouldn't judge by appearance.
Oh, one other thing, Dia. When you're free, why don't you update the deputy about your upcoming schedule? We held another recruitment event a few days ago, but everyone only came to see the Flame Main. The deputy put a lot of effort into the event, but it was basically for nothing.
Sorry to hear that. I'll be sure to bring him some great liquor.
Gotta admit, I can understand. Now, if only the deputy could...
Keep dreaming. Remember the awkward silence and weird
Hey, didn't we agree to never bring that up again?
Huh? Wait, are you serious?
I don't think you were part of the brigade yet.
Are you kidding me? I missed a once-in-a-lifetime moment like that?
All right. We can tell you about...
Hey, don't you try to change the subject. You and Hisham get your butts over here and tell...
Are they?
More or less. There aren't many rules or graces when it comes to murder. If someone starts getting under your skin, you just yell, but we also don't tend to take many things too seriously. Being direct and getting it all out of your system. That's also why I never spare their feelings when I talk to them. If I want to laugh, I'll laugh. If I'm angry, hey, knuckleheads!
Yeah, you hear her, Holloff? Told you we gotta focus on the investigation first. All you gotta do is wait and ambush.
Perfect. Thanks for that. Be sure to pass my regards to
Will do. You stay safe,
This should be the place. Let's find... It's gonna come down to a fight one way or another.
No need to worry. She knows her...
I'm not worried about that. Here they come. You ready? Let's not give them a chance to react and end this quickly.
Close enough.
Let's get it on!
Lucky today.
Shine down! Huh.
Look alive!
You're the Flame Main.
Good. That saves me an introduction. All right.
You know the code of being a mercenary, just...
That might have worked. Think about it, though. What's your reputation worth if you won't have the other tools? You've got 5 seconds. You might want to think
Whoa!
I'm not joking around. We can do this the easy way or the painful way. 2 seconds!
I'll save you the trouble.
Huh? Are you crazy? He tried to bite off his own tongue. Quick, search the area for any... I definitely didn't expect him to go that far.
But why would he...
I just wanted to test his mettle. You can get a lot... I didn't expect him to be willing to go through so much pain.
Well, he's out cold for now. We could wait for him to wake up, but maybe...
Yeah, don't worry about it. It'll be a waste of time to interrogate him again. There are lots of goods around here.
We found a piece of paper with a bunch of names on it.
Let me take a look. If this... Yep. I see an entry for Dakana Lakmar right here. Kusela, Idrisi, Bashar, and Takriti. All familiar names. Dakana Lakmar's... This caravan is just one link in their logistics chain. Once in the... That person will then pack the caravan full of necessary goods. Wait, why is there no Mora value recorded?
Nope.
Yeah, every transaction before... perhaps. But they couldn't have known how much they... Anyway, the next part's the records of the goods themselves. Huh?
What's wrong?
Shazaman Homayani?
Homayani?
I'd be surprised to find someone with the... Just what the heck is going on here? I'm sorry, you're right. But what...
What if the Homayanis have been kept in the dark and don't...
That's a possibility. But if that was the case, they could have just as easily bought goods such as food and medicine. Yeah, funding violence and looting. The brigade gets the goods, and he is paid the proceeds from...
But why would he do something like...
I honestly have no idea. I've been to their estate many times, and I've never noticed anything. The only potentially large expenditure I could think of would be the treatment costs for Dunya's... But that's still just a speculation. You're probably right. I know...
But what should we do now?
If you ask me, we already have no I'm not worried. It's too early to make a verdict yet. I still have faith in the Homayanis. Let's go find my lady again. We'll tell her everything and see if she's willing to lend us her support. If we're lucky, we can not only figure out the mystery...
Dia, are you sure...
I've considered that possibility. But even still, I want to tell her what... She showed genuine concern for me when we first brought up the topic. I can't repay her. That's not how I deal with people.
You're right. Paimon wants to trust Dunyarzad too.
Yeah. Let's... We're back, my lady.
Oh, you're back a lot sooner than I expected. You mustn't have run into any trouble then.
Actually, we're still investigating.
I see. The clue?
Something like that. Yeah.
You all look a little dispirited. Why don't you discuss it with me?
It's okay, my lady. It's not so much about...
So something is wrong. Even the traveler. On any other day, Paimon would have already waved to me with a smile and shouted, Dunyarzad, we're back! So tell me, what happened?
Well...
My lady, please prepare yourself for what we're going to tell...
The master? You... Okay, I understand. My father...
Yeah, it makes us... I've never doubted the master's integrity, so maybe he's not actually aware of the full...
I can't help but agree.
Huh? You mean you...
Thank you for sharing all this information. Since you've told me everything you know, I should also tell you about some doubts that, in the past, I thought that my father hired a bodyguard for me so that I wouldn't run away and get lost. However, there are plenty of capable mercenaries in the Corps of 30. Why did my father go out of his way to hire Dia?
About that. Well, the Homayanis really needed bodyguards, so later, the master told me that I was one of the best mercenaries he'd ever seen. He offered me a pile of Mora, so...
Well, but that didn't really answer my question.
Maybe the core of 30 just didn't have anyone available. I think I get what you're saying. You'd think none of this was a coincidence.
Precisely. At first glance, nothing. If my father had always been in contact with Dakan al-Ak.
You mean the goal all along was to get Dia to be your...
No, that's too much of a stretch. I cut all ties with my father a long time ago. He has no control over my life anymore.
But that still doesn't rule out the possibility that your father has still been trying to influence your life without you knowing.
So, the Master was not likely an innocent victim?
Sorry we put all this on you so
It's okay, Paimon. I should act regardless of his reasons if my father has...
But is that... My father has committed many atrocities and deserves all the punishment. However, the Homiyani family... If we decide to investigate this further...
Dia.
It's alright, Dia.
You don't have to do that, my lady.
Hey! It's still too early to give up hope! What was the thing about friendship again? Right, yeah, trust! You said that yourself, Dia! Besides, there's no point on getting all riled up before we've confirmed all the facts!
Thank you, everyone. That makes... In which case, my lady, could you ask the Master to come out and have a chat with us?
Sure thing. I also hope he'll be able to give us a logical explanation.
Usual place? Ah, right!
Thank you for coming, sir. Please allow me to introduce these two. This is the Traveler, and next to her is her travel companion, Paimon.
Ah, yes, but we may skip all the pleasantries for now.
Well, we wanted to bring this transaction record to your attention.
So, that's what you found?
If you wouldn't mind, we'd like an explanation.
Well, it's a long and difficult story. And what I do know, though, Dia, is that the truth...
Wait.
Yes, I understand, but knowledge always comes at a price. Your father, Kusela, and I both believed that. Of course, you have the right to seek and learn the facts of this matter may reduce everything you've built for. If you must proceed, then Kusela's heartfelt efforts will also fade into the wind like a fleeting mirage.
His heartfelt efforts? I've made it this far in life without a single drop of my father's support. I have my own ideals and ways of looking at the world, as well as people, and I came here today to support you as the head...
I understand. Our family once needed to take a trip to the desert when they had superior numbers and quickly overpowered our Those Eremites were Kusela's brigade, Dakan Allah. Kusela's men told me that the attackers were Eremite mercenaries, just like themselves. Kusela was grinning and walked over to play with baby Dunyas.
Really?
He said that he had no particular reason to help us. He just took pity. We started talking about our children, and I sensed that he was a devoted father. To repay his kindness, I hired his brigade to help out at our estate for a time, and offered everyone generous remuneration.
So, that's what happened.
It was many years before I saw him again. I almost didn't recognize him the next time he came knocking on my door. The man I knew to be strong.
So, what happened to him? He was perfectly fine when I left the brigade.
I'm not too sure myself. The only thing that didn't change... He then suddenly asked me if Dunyarzad, now that she had grown, would need a bodyguard of her own. At the time, Dunyarzad was going through a particularly... But he kept coming back to the topic. Come on, it never hurts to be safe. How do you know a bodyguard won't... I was completely lost at first, until he recommended the Blazing Beasts. And in particular, a mercenary.
So he was the one who recommended Dia to you.
Indeed. He didn't say it out loud, but it was clear that he saw Deshret's relics as an evil group who would eventually... He was already beyond redemption, but he hoped that he would be able to detach his daughter from the... If Dia could stay in my house and keep working as a bodyguard, then gradually her affinity for...
And that's why you offered hers.
Yes. But not just because of that. From the moment that he asked me for that favor, and that's also why I tried to persuade you to stay when you asked for permission to leave. I was willing to Kusela saved my daughter and I all those years ago in the desert.
He was always like that. Acting like he's oh so...
Kusela said that he'd reimburse me for a portion of Dia's fees. I refused. Eventually, I just accepted them as a token of his gratitude. The letter contained a request to help him buy food, weapons, medicine, and...
Wait! Isn't that around the time that Dekana...
That's right. When I started to hear some nasty rumors, but by then, he was no longer receptive to my request. That thought occurred to me as well. I figured that he probably came to me for help because he had no... After some deliberation, I decided to send... I am aware that even such a reduced gesture of support could lead to others coming to harm, but I could not In the end, it probably was the wrong decision. I plugged my ears to the rumors and just...
If you can, please tell me where he is now. None of the things he's doing right now make any sense if he's just trying to keep me from getting tangled up in his world. If all he wants to do is steer clear of me, then maybe he shouldn't have brought me into this world in the...
Oh no. Dia, please don't feel that way.
I'm just angry because I can't wrap my head around any of his actions. Another way? I don't know, but I guess you do have a point.
I'll do my best to help. I don't know Kusela's exact whereabouts. However, there's a man on the list named Jawed. He's responsible for supplying weapons and I've heard that he likes to have a few drinks alone and enjoy the cool wind at night outside the tavern. Maybe you'll be able to find him there.
Understood. Thank you, sir. Then I guess this is bye for now, unless...
I'll stay and be with my father here. My father has indeed done something wrong, but if I think about it, I feel like our only course...
Yes. I am... It's time to face my...
Huh? Who are you guys?
I know what you've been up to. Smuggling weapons to violent brigades in the desert while working for the...
Shh! Keep your voice down. How do you know all that? Come with me. We should take this elsewhere. This place should do. All right. Back to my question.
Don't worry about that for now.
Wait. There's no need to jump the gun. Let's talk this out.
So what's in it for you anyway? Mora?
Well, I was a little tight on money at the time, and Kusela took good care of me in the past. I waited in my mind, and I couldn't find a reason to turn the opportunity down.
Let me tell you how it is. We're investigating Dekana Lakmar, and if you provide some help for us, then we might just put...
Hey, why don't we discuss this a little first?
Shut it. My patience is running out. You should know when a mercenary is after something other than...
All right, sheesh. But you gotta promise you'll put in some nice words for me later. They're always on the move. Here's the spot they were at the last time I made my delivery to the desk. Feel free to go have a look. I'm just telling you, though, it's not on me if they're not there anymore.
Sure. And then you can forget about any nice words from us.
Hey, come on.
Really? And how do I know you're not leading us straight into a trap? Don't forget, you're the one with no bargaining.
All right, I get it. What?
Now that's more like it. Let's move. And as for you, try to stick around the city until we get back. You don't want us to call the folks from the Corps and have them drag you back to the city. Seems like we're in luck. That should be their camp right up ahead. Let's go. We'll finally get to the bottom of this ourselves. I'm here to see Kusela. Tell him to get out here.
Dia, why are you here?
Boom! Illusion shattered.
Take that!
Haven't you all done enough?
Oh, so are you also here to stop us?
Stay out of this. It's got nothing to do with
Gloves off!
you. She's so...
Enough fighting. We all know each other, and just bring Kusela to me. Did you understand a single word I just said?
All right, everyone, let's all just, Dia. The boss can't come out and see you anymore. He died.
What?
Seems like you've been out of the loop for a while. Guess that's for the best.
When did he die? What happened to him?
A few years ago, Kusela broke up Dakan al-Ahmar and went to the Deshret's Relics headquarters by himself.
So is that when you guys started acting up?
We would prefer to call it taking revenge. Every last person in Deshret's Relics must pay in blood.
Let me start from the beginning. Dia, do you know how the head of the Relics maintained?
Overwhelming strength and unquestionable authority?
Those were a part of it, yes. But just those on their own weren't enough. Regardless of whether they joined by their own will or were coerced, whether it be their deepest sin, some unforgivable act, or their most immoral exploit, that's precisely it. Every one of us have a record. Me, Bashar, Tikriti, and all the boys who grew up with Dia and ended up joining our... But you, Dia, you were never asked to provide a record, were you?
I never even knew this was a requirement.
You were probably the only person in all of Deshret's Relics who didn't know about it.
Ever since you were born, Boss had been trying to shield you from this organization's sinister rule. Not only that, but he also banned all of us from committing any nefarious acts. He said he'd take care of the dude, but in the end, he was just an ordinary person. What could he do? He was forced to go to headquarters again and again to account for missed dues and incomplete records. He'd come up with all kinds of excuses.
We all knew he was doing that for you. He wanted to get you out of this world, no matter what it took.
And that's why he became a shell of himself and couldn't walk without a cane.
Wait, but that doesn't make any sense. I didn't know about any of this, and I'd never seen him get injured or beaten.
Because you were too young at the time. How would you ever tell between wounds from a beating and wounds from battle? When you left home after that final argument with him, he seemed to age by a decade overnight. Even his hair went gray.
So, even the blazing beasts were...
Yep. It was all his doing.
A few years ago, Boss said he needed to make another trip to headquarters. He was already pretty weak then, and we all assumed he was going to get beaten again. I suggested that he hand the role of leadership over to me, but he said there was no longer any need. His words made no sense to me. But that night, we heard that a massive fire tore through headquarters and razed everyone's records to ash.
Everyone gained their freedom that night. Many members fled, not just from our ranks, but how could we leave with a clear conscience? All of us who knew exactly what had happened.
The boss can't have just died for nothing. Those heartless jerks at headquarters...
From that point on, the sole purpose of Dakan the big fire that Boss started was quite a blow to head. Even though we're outnumbered, we vowed to see our revenge through to the very end. There were people from headquarters who changed their names and went into hiding, but we won't let any of them escape.
We've suffered plenty of losses as well. To keep going, we need an enormous amount of support. All we can do is exchange our loot from Mora. We forged Boss's handwriting and sent out many letters to his former friend. We were also able to attract many mercenaries who shared our goal. Deshret's relics have become weaker and weaker, and now we finally have an opportunity to directly strike their headquarters.
Paimon Paimon doesn't know what to say anymore.
We do know right from wrong, but we were sinners from the very beginning. We do not deserve the boss always loved his old-fashioned hero stories. Those tales about we used to always laugh at him for it. But in the end, he really went and lived those stories out himself. As for me, I never considered myself a hero. We're all the lowest of the low. But maybe those hero stories he liked foreshadowed everything that was to come. The spirit of the hero touched all those he had saved, and more people joined his cause. Maybe we were all just acting along with the play in the beginning. But as we acted the parts and recited the... I'm sorry, Dia. I know you always found us insufferable ever since...
I'll go with you.
Huh? Dia? You wanna go with them?
I grew up with these guys, and I know they're not bad people. It's just that some situations get so bad that it's difficult to tell good from evil. All I know is that Deshret's relics must be destroyed. Furthermore, I want to go see the place for myself. I want to know if my father is still there. I know you don't want to get involved in this, so there's no need for you to tag along. I can do this on my own.
Yeah, Paimon feels like we'd only regret it if...
Thank you. We'll be a lot stronger together with you.
I bet Boss would lose his mind if he ever knew you'd join us at the very last moment.
Considering all the losses and injuries.
He can think whatever he wants. But the fact is, I owe him this much.
Is this the entrance? We sure didn't run into much trouble on the way here.
Should be. I don't think they have enough manpower left to post guard.
Wow. Paimon didn't expect it to look like this on the inside.
They should all be holed up in here.
Who cares? We'll round up all of them.
Still, we should be careful. Even if they've only got one shot left, it could still take us out.
Yeah, we'll know what they're really capable of once we've landed some hits on them. Deshret's relics may have been a force to be reckoned with before, but their name means nothing now.
Yeah, they don't stand it.
You are not welcome here.
Let's get it on!
Take this off the side! Go!
There is no escape! Look alive! Hi! Buckle up! You asked for it!
Need that. Feeling today. I'll be back.
Illusion shattered! Let's get it on! Hi! Inazuma shines eternal!
Back up with flame! I'm getting sick of this.
Gloves off!
Wait! They went charging ahead without checking for any traps!
Hey, you guys okay?
It seems like we just got trapped in here.
Watch out, the enemy's coming from ahead.
Well, now that things have come to this,
Don't worry about us. We knew something like this could happen. Let's go! We can't let the boss...
Let's check if there's another way! The sooner we can...
Let's see. I think I see a way through over there, but it's being blocked.
Okay, let's go!
Look alive! There is no escape! Another mechanism like the one before, but this one's being blocked off in the middle.
We just need to adjust it a little.
Shine down! Hi! You asked for it!
This might be hurt!
Let's get it on!
I must leave no stone un... Go!
There is no escape! Buckle up! You're dead meat! Hey! Let's get it on! Shine down!
Practice on the sun!
I wasn't expecting anyone to make it through from the other side. But as a desert dweller, I suppose we should be used to our folks defying all expectations.
Don't waste your breath. You have
Run. Had I wanted to, I witnessed the golden age of Deshret's relics. Even if I could leave this place behind, oh, even now, my brothers and I, the greatest, should never live to remember their fall.
So you want to go out in a blaze of glory?
Let us draw our weapons! They are but two, while we... Wave one! Charge! Eliminate them!
Leave it all to me. Buckle up! You asked for it!
I'll be back.
Don't think that you've won. You've started.
Let's get it on! Ah!
King Destret will not abandon any one of his followers.
Steady as stone. Time to clean up. I'm back! Strike this nonsense up!
You ain't messing around! Buckle up! Huh, cha, huh, yeah!
Brothers! With me, this is where we prove our fate.
You all just wanna die?
None of us plan to leave this place alive!
The commander has finally fallen.
But they're still coming at us! This place is like a gladiator's ring. They just keep coming no matter how many we beat!
Yes! Keep fighting! There's...
When the next wave comes, try to draw away their attacks. I'm going to see if I can take out that high platform.
Get out of my way!
Come and face me, Michel! Ugh, so they've broken through the front.
Apologies, Lord Michal. They fight like...
So...
Time to pay for every...
You think I would give you that opportunity? I will be buried in the sand, alongside all the rest of our fading glory.
Hey, wait!
We were too late.
It's over. There's no more need to fight. But if you're still going to cling on to your so-called mercenary's pride, then I'll give you all a good beating as well.
Hey, dear! I found the mechanism. I'll get you all back up here right away.
Let's go.
Who are you filthy rats? And why are you always pestering us?
You call yourself a member of the infamous Deshret's relics, and you still can't even tell who's made it all the way to your headquarters?
Who knows what— Hey, have you ever heard of a man by the name— Why would I know?
This is your last chance.
Hey, I said I don't know anything. If you're here to find someone, why don't you look through the records or—
The irony. His life became a light for so many, yet to others, it wasn't even worth remembering. Where's the records room? And
It's right over there. All the files are in there. You can go through them as—
I mean the old records room.
The old records room? Kusela. Ah, yeah, I remember. Watch your mouth. That's our boss. He was definitely faking it. We all let our guard down as soon as we saw him come hobbling in. But in the short time it supposedly took him to take a dump, he'd already gotten away. He couldn't have possibly outrun us if he wasn't a fraud. And after that, Deshret's relics fell into complete disarray.
Stop wasting our time. Every one of us here is— Tell me, where is the old—
It's just over there. There's nothing left in there but ashes. Bashar, Tikriti, let's go. We'll leave the others here to guard these guys. Spare them no mercy if they try anything.
So, this was his final destination. How did he do it? Getting past all the guards with a limp and if he was nimble enough to do that, then he must—
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I know it's just wishful thinking.
Is this a cane?
Kusela.
Thanks for everything, boss.
We're fortunate to somehow find that cane after that fire.
Let's split up and look around some more. What if something else has been left behind?
But what else could survive a fire like that?
Huh? Thought so.
Wait! Isn't that the toy sword you played with as a child?
The dragon is no more, for Princess Dia has slain it. Its head now hangs above the city gates. Her bravery has brought eternal peace and prosperity to us all. Dia, come on. This is the most important line.
You can do it.
But Dia, you defeated the dragon. Everyone's waiting for your speech. Still too shy, huh? All right, I'll do it. I hereby proclaim our victory. Evil shall plague us no more.
I hereby proclaim our victory. Evil shall plague us no more, Dad. What's this?
Don't you remember? You asked Paimon what she would do if she were to wake up tomorrow, and Paimon said that she would get boatloads of tasty snacks. These opportunities don't come by often. Hey, come on! Anyway, the point is that Yushit Dunyarzad will also be here shortly.
Aw, thanks, you two. Honestly, my chest was filled with all kinds of intense emotions. But when everything came to an end, those emotions also vanished without— It was as if I'd lost the thing that was most important to me. Yeah, you're right. To many mercenaries, Mora is the most important thing in the world. But perhaps to us, Idrisi and the others all used to say that my reality shattered when I found out that the father who always told me hero stories was in fact a bad guy. But look at me now. Am I any different? Despite all my promises about never— We're hypocrites. All of us. Yeah, you're right. It's just a pity that we often—
You're back! Are all of you all right?
Ah, there she is.
Yeah. Many— Huh? Dia?
Paimon will explain. What?
I'm sorry. I really should have—
It's all right, my lady. You were hurt by all of this as well.
Dia...
Hey, don't worry about me. If anything, this whole thing has finally shown me the difference between illusion and reality. My father probably thought that people could settle into new lives, as long as that thought has even crossed my mind a few times. It's like saying, what's wrong with adapting to a new life? However, there was always something deep within my mind that refused to accept it. This impulse brought me great turmoil, but now that I consider it again, it all makes sense.
I understand how you feel.
That doesn't mean I won't be making any changes to my life, though. As an example, I'm now thinking about taking on some small odd jobs. It's just like Idrisi said. I also want to catch up to my father, and even if the ending of the story may be childish and ridiculous, it won't really matter.
Isn't that neat, though? Oh, you'll be a whole new... Why don't we go for a change of scenery?
Right. You said you wanted to give...
We'll come along too.
I can't thank you enough for taking care of me this entire...
Oh, this rug here is quite something. The craftsmanship is exquisite.
Ah, here you are. Finally, I found you.
Hey! Aren't you that mercenary who bit his tongue? Wait, are you...
What are you talking about? Do I look like I could take you all to a fight? Once I woke up, I hurried to the Khan al-Ahmar's camp, but when I got there, I found no one except the members who were still...
Ah, so you probably got there after us.
Yeah, they told me that I had joined the cause to repay an old favor from Kusela. Now that everyone's already turned themselves in, I might as well do the same. One of the injured members gave his box. Everything left in the camp will get confiscated, so I
Thank you.
No worries. We are all just living our own truths. There's no need to comment or judge anyone for it.
So this box contains everything that Dia's father left behind. Huh. It feels lighter than expected.
Well, back in the day, the first thing he did with any Mora was spend it on things. But let's see what's inside. What's this? It's just a bunch of junk. Ugh, it kinda stinks.
Perhaps it's just been left unopened.
A handwritten copy of a storybook. The paper's already yellow. It was against the Academia's rules to possess books for personal use. If he was going to break that rule, he could have at least copied...
That probably means this was really important.
Ah, and here are a few bags of children's snacks. The packaging's completely deteriorated. Maybe that's where the smell was coming from.
Did he get those for you?
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. Even when I was a child, I was never a fan of these kinds of snacks. He'd always say that he got them for me, but in the end, he always ate more than I ever did. Who even leaves snacks in a box like this anyway? Isn't that just common sense? Forget it. Let me see what else is in here. A razor, some buttons, some round iron... a wool scarf, which, from the looks of it, probably belonged to a woman. I'm sorry, my lady, but this is just the kind of man he was. He probably saw this box. 2 empty liquor bottles. Tell me, you guys.
Huh? There's something in the...
Oh, you're right. All right, I got it out. It seems to be a piece of paper with some writing on it. The bottom part's all damaged from moisture, though. Let's hope the writing didn't smudge. I was suddenly seized with an urge to write a letter after finishing this bottle. I just folded it up and left it in the bottle, though. To Dia. It's a letter for me? It's all right. I'll just read it out. If you went to the trouble...
My condition's becoming worse and worse. Can't even walk without a cane anymore, much less go out and have fun. If you're reading this letter, then I suppose I'm already... You were adorable as a baby. Everyone loved you. And regardless of whether you were crying or laughing, but once you grew a bit older, you were no longer nearly as happy or cute. It's probably Idrisi's fault.
Can you believe this guy? He can point the finger at himself.
Anyway, back to the point. To summarize, I'm writing this so you would know not to feel sad for me, even if you end up... The reason being that... I was never your father to begin with.
Wait, what?
Surely,
I don't know.
I was quite formidable when I was young, and 100 times cooler than some. Really felt like the whole world was under my feet. With just a teeny tiny bit of effort, I felt I could rule over the... But as fate would have it, I went out into the desert for a drink one day, and discovered a baby in the sands. You were just lying there, small and helpless. You were so tiny that if the wind blew for just a little while longer, you would have been... But your cries were so loud they made my head hurt. Now that I think of it, you really were a bundle of energy.
Sounds like he's serious.
I told Idrisi and the others that I had slipped up with a woman while out and about. None of them even doubted me. I'm sorry that I had to lie to them for so long, but I really had no other choice. I was their most esteemed leader, after all. It's not like I could just tell them that I suddenly wanted to play at being a father. At this rate, I'll puke up all the... Anyway, Dia, you possess the kind of freedom and kindness that we could only dream of. As far as how you should live your life, that'll be up to you to decide.
That's the end. In the end, he was still thinking of me as a little child. I suppose, or I would have suffocated under the sand a long time ago.
He was a good father to you. The fact that he wasn't a blood relative doesn't change that.
Yeah. It's just a pity that we had to learn the truth of everything like this.
Do you already have some ideas about the decision that he wanted?
I do. If he first found me alone in the sands, then I want to try my hand at finding the person who abandoned me. I just have one wish. To tell that there once existed a childish and foolish jerk with a heart of gold. And that only under his care was I able to grow and mature into the person I am today.
If you end up finding any leads, can you share them with us? We go on adventures all the time.
Sure, I appreciate it. I wasn't expecting you to be so enthusiastic.
I'll help too.
Thank you. All of you. Thank you so much. My life has certainly had its twists and turns, but I've always considered myself lucky. Because no matter where I've gone, I've always been surrounded by incredible kindness.